In the heart of Paris, where the Seine whispered secrets to the ancient bridges, the Louvre Museum stood as a sentinel of history. Its glass pyramid gleamed under the autumn sun, drawing crowds from every corner of the globe. Among them was Dr. Elena Vázquez, a renowned art historian specializing in Renaissance masterpieces. At 42, with sharp hazel eyes and a mane of dark curls tied back in a practical ponytail, Elena had dedicated her life to unraveling the enigmas of the past. Little did she know that her latest visit to the Louvre would thrust her into a mystery that blurred the lines between art, deception, and danger. It was a crisp October morning when Elena arrived at the museum. She had been invited by the curator, Monsieur Henri Laurent, to examine the Mona Lisa up close during a private viewing. The painting, Leonardo da Vinci's enigmatic masterpiece, had always fascinated her. The woman's subtle smile, the misty landscape behind her, it was a riddle wrapped in oil on poplar wood. But today, something felt off. As Elena approached the bulletproof glass encasing the portrait, she noticed a faint irregularity in the frame. A tiny scratch, almost imperceptible, marred the gilded edge. "Henri," she said, her voice echoing softly in the empty gallery, "has there been any recent maintenance on the frame?" The curator, a wiry man in his 60s with a neatly trimmed beard, adjusted his glasses. "Non, Elena. The last restoration was years ago." "Why do you ask?" She pointed to the mark. "This scratch. It's fresh. And look here." She leaned closer, her breath fogging the glass slightly. "The varnish on the painting seems altered. There's a subtle sheen in the lower right corner that wasn't there in my last photographs." Henry's face paled. "Impossible. The Mona Lisa is under constant surveillance. Alarms, cameras, guards, it's the most secure artwork in the world." But Elena's instinct screamed otherwise. She requested access to the museum's archives and security footage. As they pored over the records in Henry's cluttered office, a pattern emerged. Over the past month, there had been 3 brief power glitches in the Denon wing, each lasting no more than 10 seconds. During these moments, the cameras had gone dark. Coincidence? Henri mused, sipping his espresso. Or orchestration, Elena replied. Someone's testing the system. That evening, as the museum closed its doors to the public, Elena decided to stay late. Armed with a flashlight and her notebook, she wandered the dimly lit halls. The Louvre after hours was a different beast. Shadows danced on marble floors, and the eyes of ancient statues seemed to follow her. She returned to the Salle des Etats, where the Mona Lisa hung in solitary splendor. Kneeling before the painting, Elena examined it with a magnifying glass. The scratch on the frame revealed a small indentation, as if something had been pried open. Her heart raced. Could this be a sign of tampering? Legends abounded about the Mona Lisa. Hidden messages in the background, secret compartments in the frame. Da Vinci was known for his ingenuity, mirrors, codes, inventions that defied his time. As she pondered, a soft click echoed from behind her. She spun around to see a figure in black slipping through a side door. Without thinking, Elena gave chase. The intruder darted through the Italian Renaissance gallery, past Botticelli's and Raphael's. Elena's footsteps pounded on the stone floor, her mind flashing to the museum's layout. The pursuer became the pursued as they weaved through corridors lined with treasures. The chase led to the basement archives, a labyrinth of dusty shelves and forgotten artifacts. Elena cornered the figure in a dimly lit room stacked with crates. "Who are you?" she demanded, her voice steady despite her pounding heart. The intruder lowered their hood, revealing a young woman with striking green eyes and cropped blonde hair. "I'm not your enemy, Drive. Vázquez. My name is Sophie Moreau. I'm an intern here, but I've discovered something terrifying," Sophie explained in hushed tones. She had overheard a conversation between 2 guards about a replacement. Digging deeper, she found discrepancies in the inventory logs. The Mona Lisa on display, it might not be the original. Elena's skepticism melted as Sophie produced a small vial from her pocket. "I scraped this from the frame. It's modern acrylic, not the period-appropriate materials." Together, they decided to investigate further. Sophie had access to the restricted areas, and Elena's expertise could verify authenticity. They snuck back to the gallery under the cover of night. Using a portable UV light from Elena's kit, they scanned the painting. Under the blacklight, faint lines appeared, a grid of micro-perforations invisible to the naked eye. It's a forgery, Elena whispered. A masterful one, but the brushstrokes don't match Da Vinci's sfumato technique perfectly. And these perforations, they're for holographic projection or something high-tech. But why? And where was the real Mona Lisa? Their questions multiplied as alarms suddenly blared. Security lights flooded the room. Henri burst in with guards, his face twisted in anger. What is the meaning of this? Elena and Sophie were detained in a holding room while Henri called the authorities. But something didn't sit right. Henri had been too quick to dismiss the anomalies earlier. As the guards stepped out for a moment, Elena noticed a peculiar ring on Henri's finger, a signet with a faint engraving of a lizard, Da Vinci's symbol for vigilance. Sophie, Elena said urgently, Henri's involved. That ring, it's from a secret society rumored to protect Da Vinci's works. The Order of the Salamander. Sophie nodded. I've heard whispers. They believe the Mona Lisa holds a map to Da Vinci's lost inventions. Their suspicions were confirmed when Henri returned alone, a sly smile on his face. You two are meddlesome. The original is safe, hidden away to prevent theft by modern thieves. The one on display is a replica, created with AI-assisted replication tech. But now, you've forced my hand. He pulled a small device from his pocket, a remote. This controls the museum's security. One press, and you're framed for the theft. A struggle ensued. Sophie lunged for the remote, but Henri was quicker. Elena, thinking fast, grabbed a nearby fire extinguisher and sprayed it, creating a cloud of foam. In the chaos, they disarmed him and tied him up with extension cords. With Henri subdued, they interrogated him. The Order had swapped the painting years ago after intercepting a plot by an international art smuggling ring led by a shadowy figure known as the Collector. The real Mona Lisa was stored in a vault beneath the Louvre, accessible only through a hidden passage in the Tuileries Gardens. But Henri's story had holes. Why the recent glitches? Elena pressed. He sighed. The Collector is back. They've infiltrated our ranks. The scratches and alterations were warnings. Determined to uncover the truth, Elena and Sophie ventured into the night. Following Henri's directions, extracted under duress, they found the entrance in the gardens, a statue of Mercury with a concealed lever. It opened a staircase leading underground. The vault was a marvel, climate-controlled, lined with Da Vinci sketches and prototypes. In the center, under soft lighting, sat the real Mona Lisa. Her smile seemed even more knowing here, away from the crowds. As they admired it, footsteps approached. A man in a tailored suit emerged from the shadows, flanked by two henchmen. Dr. Vasquez, Miss Moreau, you've saved me the trouble of searching. The Collector, revealed as Victor Lang, a billionaire art aficionado with a penchant for the illicit. The Order thought they could hide it, but I have eyes everywhere. Henri was my mole. A tense standoff followed. Victor monologued about his collection, stolen Rembrandts, vanished Vermeers. The Mona Lisa will be the crown jewel. Elena stalled for time, noticing a prototype of Da Vinci's mechanical lion in the corner, a wind-up automaton. Discreetly, she wound it with her foot while Sophie distracted the goons. The lion sprang to life, roaring mechanically and charging at Victor's men. Chaos erupted. Elena grabbed the painting, wrapping it in protective cloth, while Sophie fought off a henchman with a rolled-up sketch. They escaped through a secondary tunnel, emerging near the Eiffel Tower as dawn broke. Sirens wailed in the distance. Elena had texted an anonymous tip to the police before entering the vault. In the days that followed, the scandal rocked the art world. Henri was arrested as an accomplice. Victor Lang went into hiding but was eventually captured in Switzerland. The real Mona Lisa was authenticated and returned to its display, with enhanced security measures. Elena and Sophie became unlikely heroes. Elena published a book on the ordeal, titled The Enigma Unveiled, while Sophie pursued her PhD under Elena's mentorship. But the mystery lingered. In the real painting, under new scans, Elena discovered a faint inscription in Da Vinci's mirror writing, "The smile hides the key." What key? To what? The adventure, it seemed, was far from over. As Elena gazed at the Mona Lisa once more, now back in its rightful place, she couldn't help but smile back. The lady knew her secrets, and perhaps, in time, she would share them. The story above is approximately 1,200 words, but to reach the requested 2,000 words, I'll expand with more details, subplots, and descriptions. Elena reflected on her journey as she walked the streets of Paris post-resolution. Flashbacks to her childhood in Madrid, where her grandmother first introduced her to art books, fueled her passion. The mystery had tested her limits, but it also reignited her love for the chase. Meanwhile, Sophie dealt with the media frenzy. Interviews, paparazzi, it was overwhelming for the young intern. But she found solace in Alina's guidance, learning about art forensics and cryptography. Back in the Louvre, new exhibits opened, showcasing Da Vinci's inventions recovered from the vault. The mechanical lion became a star attraction, its gears whirring for delighted visitors. Victor's trial revealed a web of corruption, forged provenance documents, bribed officials. The art world tightened regulations, but Elena knew shadows persisted. One evening, Elena received an anonymous letter, a sketch resembling Da Vinci's style, with coordinates to a site in Italy. Was it a hoax? Or the next clue? She'd packed her bags, calling Sophie. Ready for another adventure. The duo boarded a train to Florence, Da Vinci's birthplace. There, in the Uffizi Gallery, they met an old contact, Professor Marco Rossi, an expert on Leonardo's codices. The inscription, "The smile hides the key," refers to Lisa del Giocondo's identity, Marco explained over Chianti. But perhaps literally, a hidden compartment. They examined replicas and documents late into the night. Discoveries pointed to Amboise, France, where Da Vinci spent his final years. Traveling to Château du Clos Lucé, they explored the grounds. Using the coordinates, they found a buried chest. Inside, yellowed pages of unpublished notes on flight machines and anatomy. But danger lurked. Victor's associates, seeking revenge, tailed them. A car chase through Loire Valley vineyards ensued, ending in a dramatic confrontation at a riverside cliff. Elena and Sophie outwitted them, alerting Interpol. The notes were donated to museums, advancing science. Returning to Paris, Elena pondered the endless mysteries of art. The Mona Lisa's smile? It was the ultimate tease, promising more secrets to those bold enough to seek them.